Opinionated Facts is brought to you by the Right Way Home Care, where they are committed to providing high-quality, client-centered, and affordable home care. They also offer personal care, respite care, light housekeeping, medication reminder, and a personal care. If you need any more information on the Right Way Home Care, make sure you reach out to them at www.therightwayhomecare.org. Again, that is www.therightwayhomecare.org.
Let's go. What it do, baby? Father's Day.
It's Father's Day, though.
Niggas be thinking I'm deep, intelligent, fooled by my college degree. My IQ is average. There's a young lady out there, she way smarter than me. I scrolled through her timeline in these wild times and I started to read. She mad at these crackers, she mad at these capitalists, mad at these murder police. She mad at my niggas, she mad at our ignorance, she wear her heart on the sleeve. She mad at the celebrities, low key I be thinking shit.
I get it.
Let's go.
Microphone check. Hey, your boys are back in the building. Opinionated Facts, week 76, Father's Day edition. I'm going. Father's Day edition. Fellas, how we feeling, man? Happy Father's Day.
Did you come in already?
Well, you want me to say the whole
Nah, I mean, if you go half-ass, we'll half-ass the whole entire show.
I got you. I'm bringing it. Microphone check. Hey, this is the world's most popular barbecue talk, barbershop talk, man cave conversation. However you like it or dislike it, this is the Heavyweight Champion Sports Talk Podcast. This is your Opinionated Facts. These are your hosts. Myself is in the building. To my left, I have the Donald Trump of Sports Talk Podcast.
On, man.
He's in Tulsa.
The redheaded assassin, the last member of the redheaded Indian tribe, and the man that gets it popping in the old head community, Mr. Red himself, is in the building. How you feeling, man? Hold on before you start.
Jeez.
to my further left, we have Mr. S. Rudolph in the building.
What's up? I guess we're not done. I guess we're just done quarantining now. We just gonna be shoulder to shoulder up in here, though.
If we're going green on Friday, yo, we yellowish.
Not this Friday.
Well, it could be 25 or less in the area. We're 25 or less.
If you got the proper distance.
Well,
my knee's touching your knee. No homo.
It's not. It's my thigh. No, this guy's wild. You a wild boy.
We're back in the building, man. We're back in the building. We're back together. No more Zoom podcast.
Nah, there will be more.
There will be more some Zoom.
It's just tonight. It's just tonight that we all happen to be here.
All right.
So it's different.
There will be more Zooms. What you guys are telling me?
Yeah, probably. It's hard to meet up all. Be in the same spot,
especially when season.
Because we don't know Samar's dedication yet. Like he's still technically a guest.
You're right. You gotta like perform and camp.
Yeah, he may not work. He may not work
out yet. Like I just shows by myself.
Man. You know, we used to have a host on here that he worked out great for some weeks at times. There's been times where he didn't work out. We don't want you to become inconsistent.
Have I ever missed?
No, I'm just saying sometimes people become consistently inconsistent. Ooh. And we don't need that problem.
Well, that hasn't been me.
You know, the other that's my guy. The other host, that's my guy.
Don't try to clean it up now.
I ain't got to clean it up. He knows he's my guy. We talk regularly.
Look,
he's my guy.
So let's get to it right away. What do you guys think about July 7th, the NBA guys are returning to camp and getting back to this thing, living in a bubble down in Orlando now the bubble is nice. It's like a twist. Like they got their own personal chefs, barbers. Like they're living nice.
But
they're in a bubble.
You can't let no outside girls and not even the wives.
That shouldn't be a concern.
What are you talking about? There's 21-year-olds in the NBA.
It shouldn't be a concern.
Look,
like they tell you before in your boxing training camp not to be.
Yeah, and what you still
physical.
What you still do?
I mean, you know, people still do things and not follow the rules.
I'm saying something about 7 weeks without getting nothing.
I think it's hard. I think it'd be pretty hard pressed to find someone in the NBA that doesn't get COVID while they're there, regardless of the precautions. I think it's going to happen. So then, what do you do then?
They already had the rules in place.
They already said that they're not going to cancel again if someone does get it.
They said they wouldn't even start it up if that was going to be a possibility.
Yeah, and then that's so
you're going to have to isolate 14 days. You can't.
Yeah.
The biggest problem they're saying is, from a player perspective, is if you do get the COVID and you guys quarantine 14 days, you're not allowed to work out.
You can't even get to the gym?
No, you can't run or nothing.
Are you going to stay in your room?
You got to quarantine 14 days. Like Como did in his basement.
So what?
He was still working, though.
He was working, man. That dude was working. I said, hell. And he looked terrible some days. And he was still down there talking for 2 hours by himself.
Shout out to Como, man.
Como's a real deal.
Como did it. What's worse? Being in a bubble, isolated from everything, or if you're single, not being able to get no girls for the next 2.5 months?
I'm just saying, we all know, like, week 1, everybody dialed in. Week 2, things was getting a little heavy. Somebody gonna sneak somebody in the bubble. And if J.R. Smith signs with the team, all my money's on him. J.R. ain't going 7 weeks.
J.R.'s married. He's a married man, you know?
My bad, J.R. I ain't put your damn stuff. I changed my mind. Somebody gonna sneak somebody in.
Who's the first guy? No, never mind. I'm not answering that question. But with COVID running wild,
especially in Florida,
what do you think these guys? Like, how do you think these guys are going to manage in a bubble? Like, basketball's fine, but we all know being without a woman, after you can have any woman you want for the last
most of your life.
Most of your life.
If you're an NBA player, you've been a baller your whole life.
How do you shut it down and just and just how do you shut it down and just not say, hey, I'm going cold turkey for the next whatever, how many months?
You really can't prepare for it. I think that everybody on Facebook, they probably just hear my voice, but I'm the voice of God.
I mean, I didn't see him on the screen. You're not on the screen, but hey, it don't matter. No, we gotta stay focused. Right. It doesn't matter. This guy wants to be seen. Yo, sometimes you just gotta be a voice, man.
No.
So what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you more?
There's gonna be that one trainer that you never thought was cute, and you're gonna know, like, you know what? Yo, what's the name? Ain't bad.
Oh, no, it's not gonna happen that way.
It'll happen.
It's not gonna happen that way. Yo, what are you doing?
The regular folks.
You can't just get up in the middle of us talking.
They don't even know I'm here.
Yo,
what do you mean? I can see you now.
Yo, listen.
Sorry, this guy. Sometimes you gotta argue because this guy.
They're worried about nothing right now. We're not going to be 3 guys arguing for no reason. Listen, if you're in a bubble, how can you focus on anything but basketball? Like, should we see the best basketball we've seen, like, in the last 20 years of basketball? Like, they have no other focus right now but being the best and going at people.
It's going to be different because you're not going to have the fans. So what like,
I think a huge difference.
LeBron especially feeds off of that energy.
Every star does for the most part.
I don't think Kawhi does. I think Kawhi. I honestly feel like Kawhi actually feels like he's playing in front of no one. He's just out there. But there are some players that feed off of that.
Man, you see Kawhi hit them big shots against Philly, man.
He never got really hyped though.
Now you see some emotion, but that crowd fed him though.
I didn't see no emotion.
When we hit the game winner against Philly, you definitely saw that emotion come out.
Yeah.
No, you're missing. I don't really feel like when he hit the game winner in Game 7 against Philadelphia, it was the first time I ever seen him get real emotional. But I don't think he did that for the fans. It was just something that
fans make a difference even in every sport.
If he makes a game winner, it's going to be different. Like say whoever it is, say LeBron hits a game winner in one of the playoff games that they have, and he goes crazy. It ain't gonna be as crazy. That thing ain't rocking.
It feels weird now when a boxer or UFC player gets a crazy knockout and they run to the cage and like 5 people are like, "Yeah, good job." Buddy.
Yeah, it's all quiet. You can hear one person clapping.
Yeah, I don't like it,
and I don't. So it is tough.
I think the free throw returns should go up.
Yeah,
because NBA players, anybody's ever seen NBA players shoot even the 15th man on the bench with nobody around, they don't miss.
But that alone in the NBA, I think that'd be a little better in the NBA because you got teammates. So being around teammates and being like that, like that'll get you excited, even on game winning shots. Like celebrating with your teammates and everything like that will definitely get you to the point where you can, feel that adrenaline. We all played basketball before, and in a room full of nobodies, in an empty gym, and you hit that game winning shot.
But
I
think
you're still excited.
The people who are still playing in that gym are playing for the love of the game. And some players in the NBA are playing for what's from the game.
Like Barkley said.
Yeah, and when you don't have that kind of atmosphere, you're not doing for nobody, nobody's there. I think it's going to take away from something from some of the players.
I mean,
it's going to take away from a lot. Like LeBron, when it all first came about and they talked about getting rid of the fans, LeBron said, "Well, that's who I play for. I'm not playing for anything here."
I was disappointed,
and I was disappointed. Like that made me mad a little bit. Like when I heard him say that, like,
and now he's the biggest one. Like, he's only posted a few times, and three of them were like, "Hey, look, just so you know, we're balling. We want to ball."
Yeah.
So, I mean, now he wants to play.
Well, I mean, the Lakers in general should be wanting to play, just off the fact that they're the number one seed right now, and
that's why it's big deal that when you have A.B. Bradley and Dwight Howard coming out saying, "I don't know if we should play."
That's not a big deal.
It is a big deal because
the big deal would be if LeBron came out and said it.
I think it's a big deal because
I think Dwight coming out and saying that. First of all, he's lucky to be back on the Lakers.
He's a contributor this year.
Yeah, he played.
Like I said, he's lucky to be back on the Lakers though. How he left.
Lakers lucky to have him.
He's lucky to be back on the Lakers.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
He's controlling that middle right now. He's shooting a high percentage in the NBA right now.
He doesn't start.
He has a high shooting percentage in the NBA right now.
That's misleading. I mean,
it is very misleading. Well, if it is, why say it?
Because it's still a fact.
Yeah. And
it wasn't for him. JaVale McGee starts most of the game.
Well, JaVale McGee's playing well too. He's playing well. Basketball.
Yeah, they're both playing well.
So it's not.
I don't know. JaVale starts. Sometimes he starts Shaq to the fool.
Well, that was.
Yeah, but think about one of the Lakers' biggest assets right now is their height, their size.
Yeah. They're long.
Pause. I wasn't gonna say it.
I don't know. I mean, we're talking about basketball here.
Right.
I don't know what you're pausing.
Right. I'm just saying, if somebody from the Knicks comes out and says, "You know what, we probably shouldn't play," you don't take it as serious as like Dwight Howard put in his memo. I don't want to call it memo. His statement. He said, "Look, man, I have a chance to win my first championship in 11 years. I could be a Hall of Famer with a championship ring."
Nah.
And he's like, "You know
what?
what?
He's not gonna be a Hall of Famer.
I think he's already in.
No one's gonna ever forget that his glutes. He was out with the season with his glutes injury.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Bottom line, he is borderline Hall of Fame.
Now, gets the ring, he's in.
If he gets the ring, he's in. Right now, he's borderline Hall of Fame.
And he's saying like, "Yo, I want my ring," but there's a movement going on right now.
I don't think that's why he was. He didn't want the NBA to come back and be a distraction.
That's what everybody said.
But I don't agree that. I don't think it would be a distraction. I think if anything, they can make big time statements if they do come back. And
that's what they're trying to do now. So the NBA is trying to pull out so they can have Black Lives Matter on their jerseys.
Exactly. They can have a lot. They can contribute.
But they got to see if they're going to be able to do those things.
And that was LeBron's statement too about that. Like, they can make more of a statement
playing
than just being out.
But I think I hate the fact that right now they're trying to put black people against black people, saying. Because everybody got pissed off when Laura Ingram said, "Tell LeBron to shut up and dribble." And now they're like, "Hey, Kyrie, just shut up and dribble." Like, we can't be on both sides of that. Both sides are making good points. I would want to see a playoffs. Probably, personally, I'm leaning that way. I think it's going to be one of the most competitive playoffs we had in a while. Just
the format. The format makes it.
Not only that, but you got like 4 teams that, legitimately have it. We don't know who's going to win the championship this year.
Yeah.
But you have the fact that you have, like Lou Williams, these guys coming out and they're like, there's a movement going on right now, and I think the NBA could take away from it. I don't want to bash that guy for thinking that because they're making some valid points.
Yeah, we can't keep getting rid of things though before the movement. Like the movement, sometimes you gotta help. You can help out the movement by doing certain things. You ain't gotta take a back seat to the movement.
I think the real test a lot of times is if you care about
everything
something.
right now is taking a back seat to that when I think other things can contribute to the success of it.
So you don't think Kyrie is wrong, not for coming out against this, but like the timing. Like first,
if Kyrie would have came out,
hold on. First, he was going. He was all in with "let's go," and then they told him he couldn't go.
No, I think he can. He's got to go.
No, he can't.
Not
go.
allowed to go.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
He couldn't go, and then he came out and said, "Well, we should rethink this anyway."
And
that's what I had a problem with. I like Kyrie. I've always liked him, and when he left the Cleveland the way he left, I kind of got mad at him. Like, but and he hasn't been the same kind of player. But other than that,
he's still a baller, man.
He is at times. He was an
MVP candidate with the ball.
No question, he is at times. But my issue with the Kyrie statement was with, okay, well, we shouldn't do this because the movement is important. You didn't say that when you thought you could go to Orlando, and when he found out he couldn't go, then it was like, well, we shouldn't go anyway. So that's why, because you can't go, or because you really felt that way beforehand.
And I think we different from that because I know that the president of the basketball union is Chris Paul.
Yes.
And the vice president is Kyrie.
But he was that before.
I know, but when you have 100-something players that were on that call, over 100 players were on that call, according to Adam Silver, and you're the vice president of the union, and they're saying, hey, we have concerns. As a representative of a whole league, you have to speak on behalf of those players.
Yeah, and that's fine. But then why did we only hear from 4 or 5 players?
But I'm saying, why? I ask you this question. I'll ask you this question. Why is everybody just keep saying Kyrie when there's 100-something players coming out saying they don't know if they want to play?
I haven't heard from 100-some players. I've heard from about 6 players.
But you know for a fact that there was over 100 players on the call.
On the call, but they didn't say they agreed or disagreed.
But
they were just listening.
But who have you heard from? You got Avery Bradley.
We had Avery Bradley. We had
Dwight Howard on a team where the number 1 player in the NBA, as far as popularity and everything else, says, "Hey, we want to play." And you got 2 players from his team.
And they also came out and said there was no issue with them saying that and him wanting to play.
I said they said they don't know we should play. Lou Williams, reigning 6th man of the year for the number 2 seed in the West, as an odds-on favorite to win the championship, says, "Hey, I don't know if we should be playing." So when guys that are on winning teams are saying, "Hey, I don't know if we should be playing," I don't know why Kyrie's getting the brunt of it.
There's 300 players in the league, and you have Kyrie.
You got 300 players going to the bubble.
But in Kyrie, it's probably the most, I would say, the most famous player out of that entire group.
I think maybe that's why
he came out and said something. It's like being the quarterback on your team. You're going to take the brunt of it if you're that superstar. He's maybe the lone superstar that came out and said something.
But can you understand why people are saying, "Hey, hey, Kyrie, shut up. Let's play basketball. You're not even playing." And then LeBron says, "Hey, shut up and dribble." No, I won't shut up and dribble. I also got education. I also speak on things. I think we're doing a double standard now.
Kyrie got an education. Yeah, he left Duke after 9 games.
He was there for a semester.
I'm just saying he didn't get education there.
Bottom line is Kyrie's the one that spoke up.
He didn't finish.
But LeBron didn't finish. He didn't even go to college.
I didn't say LeBron was educated.
I'm saying we can't hook people just because you don't go to college or finish college. I mean, you're stupid.
You said I'm
saying people are saying I'm educated. I have my own opinion. I have stuff besides basketball. And I don't think we should just get in here. If you agree we should go play, fine. I ain't going to bash Kyrie because he don't want to. I'm not going to bash him.
I didn't hear anyone bash him besides analysts. I didn't hear no NBA player come out against him. Like bash him.
Yeah, well, but former NBA players did. No current NBA
players. I felt like LeBron got more from Patrick Beverley when he tweeted out, "Hey, ballers."
If LeBron was the player playing.
If King at King, he added them too. I would have took that as disrespect. If you at me, I'm taking it as disrespect.
No, I think if you're gonna talk about me, talk to me direct.
And he said, if LeBron said we playing, we all playing. And
that's what it is.
Because LeBron says, "Hey, I want to play basketball," which he did say. Silver's going to play.
And I think that if the majority, if it was held to a vote, which it should have been, if they every union, if it passes, then y'all should be playing.
It did pass.
I voted down our recent contract, but nobody else did. So
but they voted.
That's what I'm working on.
They voted and it passed.
Yeah, they voted and it passed.
Yeah. So then they're playing ball then. And they up to just LeBron.
Oh, they're playing ball. That's a done deal. They're playing ball.
Yeah, they voted.
But how do you feel about all right? So the first player to come out in WNBA say she's not playing for 100% fact is Renee Montgomery. She said, "I'm not playing." And she don't think about
it ain't worth the risk for them. They're making $35,000.
I think it's more of a big deal because she ain't playing because she needs the money.
No, but they're making good money now. They're not.
I'm saying, but I think it's when you're making millions of dollars a year, you can miss this season. Different. When you're making $100,000, you do need that money. And she says, "I'm not playing."
She can go across.
Maya Moore's not playing. She wasn't playing for other reasons as well.
She was never going to play though.
Yeah, I'm saying, but
she said she wasn't playing even before this happened.
When you have a
she got him out though.
Listen, when you have a job, it don't matter. Like
you need
that money.
The more you make, the more you spend.
So whether you sacrifice it or not, it's going to be a big deal. So whether you're in the WNBA or the NBA, you're still missing checks, and that's a sacrifice. That sacrifice is easy to be made by probably some of the guys that we're talking about: Dwight Howard, Avery Bradley, Kyrie Irving. they all been in the league for a long time, but we don't hear from rookies. We don't hear from that journeyman
But no one cares what they got to say, though.
But
the reason why the Kyrie thing is a story because it's Kyrie.
Because of his name.
Well,
nobody cares what the rookie got to say. Who cares what the guy?
Well, the guy's the rookie. If it was Luka Doncic,
hey, buddy, you don't have to play. We weren't going to play you anyway. We're going to sign somebody else.
That's my point. Like, we're not hearing from them guys who need a check because they want to play. Like, you know what I mean? It's easier said than done.
Can't say nothing anyway. That's in most professions and careers. Like the rookies, you just
because in every job, like we have, like they're equal parts of the union. Like so it don't even matter to the point where we're hearing about Kyrie and Dwight Howard who made millions of dollars already. But when it comes down to the fact of these guys who are not making any money, they're making money, but
yeah, they're making money. But
they're not making money over a sustainable amount of time. Then you know what I mean. It is what it is. But
comments.
William Way says some more. They firing dudes on their day off. I heard. Whatever that means.
Probably got something stupid on there.
So you got that.
Yeah, you got to watch what you say when you live.
Dill, your father-in-law says, sit down, but I'm not sure who he's talking to. It's probably Samar.
No, probably you.
Definitely. And then said how Ned said, dude, you look like Kobe. It's got to be about you.
That's definitely about me. I heard that twice a week at least.
But anyway, forget that message, man. Talking about nothing that matters.
What do you mean? I like to keep people engaged, man.
So how do you
feel engaged with your fans, and you got an issue.
Guys like Bill and Wall in the front of the protest chanting. Guys like whose guy from Boston was out? Was it
Taco?
No, it wasn't Taco.
Taco was out too.
It was my man. His father just got out of jail in Turkey.
Yeah, it was. I forget his name too.
Cantor.
Yeah,
Cantor.
Guys are out in the front lines of this thing, man.
No, but
Bill and Wall, man.
I
you gotta give them 100% credit. Like
they was out chanting with them.
They had the horn.
And you know he's always one banana peel away from the Achilles.
Oh my God! One banana peel from the Achilles. You know, disrespect John Wall like that.
How you Jerry Achilles twice, man? Say he slipped in the kitchen.
John Wall's a bad boy. When he's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not even disrespectful. I'm not gonna say was.
Two Achilles in a row is rough.
We didn't see him play yet.
You might not ever.
You know why? He tore 2 Achilles because he was a freakish athlete. Like, nope.
Second time he fell in the kitchen.
Never go be the same.
Baseline to baseline with the ball in her hand, there ain't too many people beating him.
No, he's one of the fastest guys in the league.
Like he was a special player. So, but to see them out there and be in the front line and also being the value or most valuable player on their teams, like we need those franchise guys out there.
It's different times, man.
Out there, like promoting. Like this is. I mean, I know it's a time where black folks are being catered to, which is long overdue, because people feel like they miss. I don't know. They looked at us as I don't know how you looked at us, people, but now that you're trying to make up for it, we see a lot of this, this catering going on. But to see these folks out here like on the front lines of this, like John Wall and Beal and like people that could lose it all, it's just nice to see. I don't know what
you gotta be careful these days now, because the more you do, the more they expect.
Yeah,
I say that because of the J. Cole situation. That's the only reason why I say that, because we gave J. Cole that title. Like he always speaks up about some injustices and
they want more. They want more.
And they want more. Every time something happens, you're supposed to be the person that speaks up.
And look what they did to LeBron with. You can say a lot of things about LeBron, but he's always spoken up on issues on black issues that he felt strongly about. But then they were like, when he didn't say nothing about China, and he said that a guy should be fired for Houston and all that.
That was a mistake by LeBron. He should have said nothing. He should have said, "I'm not educated on it."
Yeah, but he's $1 billion in China.
Exactly.
So they're like, oh, you'll speak up on this issue, but when it's going to cost you money, you don't want to say nothing.
Exactly.
So when you are in front of it, you kind of always be in front of it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like people don't understand. Like you don't always have to be the person to say something.
We just gotta stop attacking us because everybody is doing what you feel they should be doing in the movement.
Exactly.
Everybody does, like everybody who saw the Chappelle special. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you do see it. But he was saying like, you know, Don Lemon was going there attacking celebrities but not doing enough, and he's like, I wish he would have said my name.
He said, I was hoping. I wish he said Dave Chappelle. Please say Dave Chappelle.
He said, because this ain't the time for me to speak. I don't want to hear from celebrity. People out here, they're doing the talking for us.
Exactly.
Because he had said Drake, and I felt bad about that. Drake's not even from here.
He's not even from there.
He's not from here. So, like, what's he got to say? Like, I felt like it was unfair for Don Lemon to do that. But Don Lemon goes on these rants sometimes, man, where...
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. We were talking about that earlier. Where Don Lemon goes on these rants, and it ain't about news anymore. It's just about how he personally feels.
Yeah, that's why... Well, I don't want... This is a sports podcast.
I'm just saying, we can talk about anything on here, though.
I like that.
We go where the conversation takes us.
I stay with the bubble thing, though. So, how do you feel about how they... By your record, you got put in the hotel by their rating. So the 6-star hotel, the best hotel on Disney's campus, is Lakers, Bucks, Clippers.
They earn that.
Yeah, they're all in the same hotel. It don't matter your conference or nothing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They earn that.
Like how else?
If you feel about some guys complaining like at these 5-star hotels, like, well, I gotta be with the Hawks.
We could take you back to high school when you were struggling, like, you know what I mean?
No, I think it's funny people complain.
Glad they ain't staying at the Super 8.
What do you think about like these college kids coming back?
Before we on the last thing for the bubble, I want your opinions on this because we're talking about the effects of the bubble. I just thought about this. You have a team like Philly that has the best record in the league at home, but one of the worst records in the league on the road, and they're going to play every game in the playoffs at a neutral site. You think that's going to make a big difference playing in the bubble?
No, I mean...
A team that can't win a game at all on the road. Ben Simmons plays terrible on the road, and now they're going to play every game basically on a neutral site.
Everyone's in the same boat, though, so it shouldn't really matter.
So, but they feed off their whole crowd. They feed off their whole crowd.
No one's going to have a crowd, though. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I know, but I think it's going to hurt a team that's they're in the 4th seed right now.
And most of this what it is. I mean, you're just...
Yeah, so it's like, yo, you got this team, like no one has their home crowd. Mm-hmm. Nobody has their away crowd.
What about their these proposals about giving extra timeouts, extra stuff for your home court advantage?
No, we shouldn't do that.
I don't like it either, but the one proposal was from the players. They want the home team to get an extra challenge, extra timeout. This is like a bunch of little stupid stuff.
No. You got to play basketball.
You got to play basketball.
You got to play basketball.
It's going to be hard, man, for some of those guys. Cause it's like, it's going to be playing like the Y in the morning. It's going to be quiet.
Yeah, like
it's still going to be atmosphere. I think it's going to be...
What's going to be good, though, is because you're going to find out, like...
You're going to have 1,000 people there, probably. It ain't going to be empty like it was for boxing.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have 35 people per team. Unless they're going to isolate that way, too, where you're still doing distancing.
Jane Richter says tomorrow, just because you don't like Philly, you got to hush.
Jeez.
That's not Philly. Hey, Jane Richter, tell me anything I said that wasn't factual. I went to 4 Philly playoff games last year. Paid my hard-earned money to go watch playoff basketball.
Wait. What's the reason?
I went to see Kawhi twice.
So you didn't even go for Philly guys?
No, I went because how often do you get a chance to go to Eastern Conference Finals?
True.
Like I can drive to Eastern Conference Final. I didn't care who they were playing. It just turns out like Kawhi is a player, but the atmosphere in Philly is nuts. I don't care if you don't like it or not. You cannot go to a Philly home basketball game and not enjoy the environment.
And home football.
It's a good environment.
I've never been to a football game. No, I don't think I ever will be, but...
No, you will. They play the Raiders.
Well, can we move forward now?
Yeah, I think we're done with that.
I mean, so with COVID running wild, how do you respond to all these colleges that are worried about, hey, 30, LSU had 30 kids come back.
Clemson with 24.
Tested positive. Clemson with 24.
MLB just shut down their training camps for the whole league because of testing.
Yeah, because the Phillies had a bunch of players too.
There's a bunch of teams now.
And with it's a mess. What do you do? So
I said, there's nothing you can, like the NBS has to be very surprised they made it out their entire comeback without getting one. Like I don't think there's anything you can necessarily do. You just hope you can contain it so you can keep as many cases from happening as possible. There's nothing you can do. Someone's going to get it.
Look at the boxing match on Thursday. The main event got canceled. Got canceled
because his trainer had COVID.
Trainer
And they won't let anyone. If your trainer gets it, you're automatically done. So you're the boxer, you don't have it, but the trainer has it.
The thing was,
done.
they all get tested when they come into the bubble, and everybody was clean.
Yeah.
And then the trainer tested, you failed the test, now everybody got to be out.
And everyone's in the bubble the entire time. So where do you get it from? If he's in the bubble,
yeah,
well, he gets it. And
some of these testing 100%. Yeah, they're having false failures.
Well, he might not have been in the bubble all the time. Maybe he snuck out. Like we just talked about.
Either way, but you're supposed to sell this.
And they're already quarantining for a week, 14.
Exactly. Like it's, man, listen, like if you're, and I don't know what the college is going to do, but like the NFL, for example, like these guys are going home every day and they're going to live a regular life. College, you can like try to quarantine on campus maybe. Like
you ain't quarantined on 19-year-old.
You're right. But you could try. Is all I'm saying.
We were in the heaviest of the quarantine. I'm talking about March. And I would go walk to the park on a nice day and there'd be full court basketball at Grider Park.
I agree. Like it's nuts. It is nuts. But what are you going to do? You can't shut it down. So say like we're in national championship week in college and the COVID breaks out amongst 12 players on one team.
Well, you heard what Fauci said. He said they're going to have to do a bubble for the NFL they play this season.
You can't do it. What are you going to do with it?
The NFL said they're still planning on having fans in stadiums in September.
They're nuts.
If anybody can pull it off, though, NFL don't really care what nobody says.
No, they don't. They don't care about anyone.
Well, college football is the one that's going to lose because they survive off football season.
All right, Little B.
I don't know if college is going to make it. I think it's going to be a modified schedule at some point. Like, I don't
only
think,
in conference?
Maybe only in conference games.
No fans, for sure.
But still, I just don't understand. I don't know how you could possibly think it.
I don't understand. Like, you got a lot of players that aren't from deprived backgrounds, and you got these kids who know their kid ain't going pro, and they're playing big time. Are you putting your son's health at risk? Are you letting him play?
At school?
Yeah.
In college?
19, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't heard from no parents yet. I haven't heard. Have you heard from any parents say their kid ain't playing?
No. And like we start as a coach in high school, we start football next week. And there's been some younger kids that parents complain, like not complain, but question, like, hey, is it really safe? But none of our older kids' parents really complained about anything. But like Jane commented again saying most people recover from COVID. I think people are feeling that way now. Like people are outside.
Well, the protests changed the COVID. It changed the narrative. I felt like when the protests started, kind of look at us gathered right now. Like you were pretty strong with your quarantine. Your quarantine game was strong. You weren't even like, yo, what's up?
I broke quarantine on Friday, yesterday.
I know, but we started doing more together. Like I would come over. You weren't letting like big parties, but like when you had your graduation, we drove by, but like we came in.
Yeah, like quarantine, like. But now, like it's people are outside.
Plus the weather's nice.
That's not. Yeah.
I always said the quarantine only worked because May and April were terrible. The weather was bad. The first time we got 70 and 80 on a Friday, Saturday, the quarantine was going to be over.
And girls start walking around and wearing less clothes, and guys are kind of falling right behind them. So that's why.
So you play women for everything?
Yes. Women run the world. I ain't know. Women run the world. I'm not staking on that. But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to blame the breaking of the quarantine on women. I will blame the breaking of the quarantine on the protest, though, like you said. But with that said, our economy is opening like quickly.
Yeah, and it's funny because the guys that took it serious in the Northeast, we're getting like 40 cases a day now. The Northeast is, look at New York, they're down to like 4 cases in one day. And you got the South going up like crazy. And they're the ones that didn't really obey the quarantine. Or they thought it was more.
The red states they don't care.
They don't care at all.
Because some people think it's like an oppression thing. That you can't make you wear a mask. And so I don't know. This is going to be interesting. I haven't planned nothing. I was supposed to go to Raiders opening week against the Saints. And I haven't booked.
In New Orleans?
No, it's the first game in the Raiders Stadium in
Vegas.
You're
going to Vegas? Yeah,
hurt my soul, yeah.
Vegas is crazy.
Quarantine took a lot from me. Took my Bulls game this year away. I was going to Chicago. Took my Raiders. First game ever. I'm going to ever get this shit the rest of my life.
I mean, you don't. It was the first game ever. You're right. And I'm not going to build another stadium in your life.
And it happened to be the week I was already going.
You might have to risk it.
They're not going to have fans.
You don't know that.
I don't think they're gonna have fans.
I'll still be out there.
They shouldn't have fans.
They shouldn't. I mean, I would like to go, but I don't think they should either. You can't put 70,000 people like this in the same place.
People.
Well, NASCAR's going to like a 5,000 people state. Like, so they can put 5,000 people in their stadium that can sit 6 feet apart, apparently. That's what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah, the NASCAR. You drive to the beach, you see Dover Downs.
It's huge. So 5,000 feet, they usually sit 100,000. So they're sitting 5,000.
They'll still be tailgating and stuff.
Well, you see Trump. He sold 20,000 tickets. It was.
I look like there was 500 in there.
I'm about to say that.
He had a whole lot of people there.
Everybody didn't show up.
He said it was 1 million tickets though.
100,000. They said they expected 100,000 and about
a million tried to get tickets. They said.
When our president don't care about this thing, I mean, it makes it hard for like the everyday person to really buy.
So Trump's a liar. I'm sorry. He just lies.
Breaking news. That ain't. Before he was president, he was a liar.
They had that whole stage built outside. He's gonna do.
They tore it down during the speech. He saw him.
That shit. It's not gonna work, buddy. Sorry.
Opinionated Facts is brought to you by Kyrie Essentials, where you can purchase healthy, naturally made beard oils and creams, which nourishes and smooths out your beard and prevents itchiness and dry skin without being too greasy. To purchase some oils from Kyrie Essentials, you can call 717-810-8530. Again, that is 717-810-8530.
Real quick, get a little commercial break for RTF Sports. Check out the podcast on the radio show. But
there was other things we need to get to. Or else I would have let this whole thing go and would have went home.
He's ready to call it.
I said, now I'm done. It's a sign from God. But no.
He gonna put it on the Lord on this day.
You want to talk about what we were just talking about while we were on this brief break?
Well, you asked the question about
how different the South is.
No, we weren't talking about that.
It's a fact.
The South is different.
South is different. And this is what led us to Mike Gundy. Is it Mike Gundy?
Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
You know, that's what I love the guy after that, though. When that happened, I freaking loved him. Like, yo, Mike Gundy's that dude.
Isn't the same guy saying, we're gonna come, people gonna act like dogs, ruff, 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 or we're gonna act like cats? Meow. That was him too.
Yeah, like Mike
is a weird dude.
Mike is different. So Mike wears the Owen shirt.
OAN. Trump Network.
It's not Trump Network.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
It stands for One American News. I don't want to promote him, honestly.
Well, did you promote him?
In a way, you brought it out of me.
I feel like you just did.
I feel like you did.
No, I'm not responsible for you.
I didn't want to talk about it. You said,
did you say it or not? Did I say it or did you say it?
I felt like you brought it out of me.
I feel like
what happened to the host?
I don't know where he's at, man. I thought he was still here. He's dark skinned though.
Oh, man.
Wouldn't that be light skinned?
That's mahogany.
Trying to say I'm blended in?
That's some dark wood right there.
It's mahogany. Yeah, we wild.
Look, man. What are you guys doing right now?
We're still on? We good?
We're live. We're good.
Then why are you over there?
Because I'm making sure that I'm directing, man.
You directing?
I didn't ask a question.
Right, you're promoting.
Anyway. I got to produce this and everything.
So, the leading rusher in college football.
For that team.
He was the leading rusher last year.
In the whole NCAA?
NCAA, he's the leading rusher.
This is why I don't like pre-production meetings.
And
I feel like I want to question that stat.
Your phone's right there.
It's not organic then.
Yeah, no, it is.
I came up from the Britannica
While
days.
I'm talking, you can look it up. So, the leading rusher in the NCAA last year, who played for Mike Gundy, and he wore the One American News shirt. It's like a Trump-based.
They've really been attacking the BLM movement.
Yeah, they do. They attack the BLM.
That's the biggest issue with them right now.
And so this running back comes out and says he's not doing nothing with Oklahoma State until things change. Is he right?
He was there the same day, shaking hands.
Is he right for his statement?
Well, I think he should have stuck with it if you were going to. He went public with it before he talked to the head coach. You know, every major network picked it up right away. They meet that day. They're on camera. He apologized on camera and said, "I'm sorry, I should have handled it differently," and went to coach first. Mike Gundy never apologized for nothing.
I don't think he need to apologize at all.
I'm saying, but exactly, why are you going to bring it up? And he's like, yeah, we do. And then he went on first take. And they were like, well, why did you, you guys done with it? You just apologize? He said, no, it's still a lot of talk going to have to be going down, a lot of discussion and dialogue. But he already apologized. Gundy just said, I didn't know it was going to be insensitive to word of network. How you not know?
Yeah, like I don't know what goes on like down in the South because it's frustrating and like if you're not a big name coach, like if you're not a coach at a national brand, like I get it, like Texas and Ohio State, Clemson now, like them coaches normally have ties to the school.
And more importantly, the donors.
Yeah.
The boosters.
And Gundy was a guy who was, he played in Oklahoma. He was a big time quarterback.
So I want to say, no, I don't want to interrupt you, but how do you feel about the quarterback from Colorado coming out and saying Gundy called him N-word in '89?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's right. Like, he was a big time player in Oklahoma. Like, he was like one of the top recruits and chose Oklahoma State over Oklahoma, which is unheard of, even now.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it makes sense now. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not a big fan of you coming out 30 years later and say, by the way, this guy called me this back in the game in '89.
No, he said before. He just never picked up steam. And now it went back to like, hey, remember I told you this guy did this before. Like it's not a shock. It's not surprising. Like, and this guy is worried about like, yo, hey, Gundy is out here. He's been racist. Like it's not a game. Like he's been racist for a long time. And
you going with him racist?
Gundy?
Yeah. That's a bold accusation.
Is it debatable?
Accusation. There's nobody can say.
Accusation.
Is it debatable? I didn't know it was still for debate.
I didn't know we were going right to racist. You know me, I don't feel like that's always the first. I like to say sometimes ignorance is not just racist. Sometimes it's ignorance.
No, I think we confuse a lot of times.
Yeah, I don't like
people that have their own views.
The worst
it's different than ours. We think, okay, he's racist.
Why are we
I don't agree with that.
I'm not defending Gundy. I'm saying, is that the route you're taking with racist?
See what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm calling you out. If you're a racist, you're a racist.
But how you can't say
well,
he's
based
racist
on what?
he has a different view than you have. How does that make him a racist?
I actually have learned that in this era of basically, Trump did change things. That it's not political. It's a different world now, and people are like, I can't be friends with this guy. This guy's voting for this guy. No, you do that. Everybody you know, you're going to these people. You're
it's
close
not political for some people, man.
I'm saying I ain't going with racist right away.
It's okay. You support this network. He's saying that he didn't really know what the network was about.
He's lying.
Allegedly.
That's a lie.
But you got the shirt. And you wear it. Like, come on.
Who's giving out OAN shirts?
Exactly.
Where you getting them from? At the rally?
That's number one. Number two.
He didn't buy that Snickervilla.
Number two. You allegedly, he probably ain't never heard of Snickervilla. Number two. You allegedly called somebody a nigga in the past.
Whoa. On air. FCC would not approve.
He said it with the A, though.
That was ER.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, he said it. That's how he said it.
He said it in the past to another player. To a player on the opposite team.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Let's sprinkle those out there. He could be sued.
Why would this guy come out and say it, though, if it didn't happen?
Well, yeah, he's just going to make up a... Like, he would have been the first thing he came out. Not a mistake. Gundy knew ahead of time what he was doing. These guys just don't get it. And, okay, say you're ignorant to it. So what? You're ignorant to being a racist then. I don't care. Because now you're at the point where you have all the technology in the world, all the education in the world to learn. You work at a university. If you can't research racism and insensitive racial injustices and
he also didn't he wear a Football Matter shirt?
No, that was Dabo's racist.
Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo's another racist. Get them all out of there.
You calling Dabo racist too?
Dabo got to go. I don't know how Dabo still got a job.
You calling Dabo got to go?
I posted that on my Facebook page.
I don't agree with that, man.
I don't care. Dabo got to go.
Put it on wax.
Yeah, Dabo got to go. I don't care how many wins he got. I don't care how many guys you recruit, how many black guys you recruit to get drafted. He probably loves the fact right now he has a white quarterback. And Trevor Lawrence is legit. He's good.
Lawrence is out on the front line. And if I had to give a shout out, I'll give it to Lawrence.
But he's ignoring.
Lawrence is out on the back line.
I'm saying, but he's ignoring everything his coach is telling him. Because his coach is saying, don't say involved.
Nothing. Don't say nothing. Yeah.
His coach also said, we're not taking knees here. Dabo been racist for a long time. But
racist though?
Yes. How can you let somebody on your staff use the N-word and live
Hold on.
Once I figured out the context,
I wasn't mad either.
The context of it made me think about it differently.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Defend the white man.
No, because I tell you this about everything.
Different view, you automatically think we're defending.
I always tell you this. I said, you got to consider if their heart was in the right, if their intentions were pure,
Samar, he's white.
He told these black players to stop saying it, which I do agree with.
We tell every year we tell our students not
stop
to say
saying it. And these guys are yelling at each other, calling each other.
He's white.
I know.
When should you ever say it as a white man?
Well, look, I think he mishandled it, but his heart was in the right place. He said, I don't want my players saying the N-word here, but he said the full word. He said, hey, stop saying N-word.
After he repeated it and then said stop saying the N-word.
Oscar Roman says, what's a definition of a racist?
Yeah, I don't go right to racist. That's the worst form of racism. Like, you're a racist.
You never see anybody get defensive.
People can be ignorant, miseducated.
Until you call them a racist.
But racist is a harsh... It
is. It's the
harsh thing you can call about it. It's like up there with being a rapist, a pedophile, a racist, a rapist.
When you judge... It's not that.
It's up there.
It's up there,
If you're not racist, you do take it that way. So you just can't just throw that word out there to everybody.
You take what I say. I'm saying it because you gave me a reason to say it.
Yeah, but I said right now you're a pedophile. You know you're not. You could be like, yo, what are you talking about?
If you allow another coach on your staff to say the N-word in any context, this guy is not 12.
If
15,
I was the head coach,
18,
I would
25?
not fire that guy. I would not have fired him.
Then how would you not?
Because his heart was pure. His intentions were pure.
Your heart is that.
I don't want to say pure.
He was trying to stop people from saying the N-word.
But it's a tough situation.
How was your heart in the right place when you?
Because he's doing something I believe in. I don't like kids saying it. I hate when I go out with my guys at work and you got a bunch of kids yelling the N-word. I look and I'm the only black guy there.
You're saying this thing from a black privilege right now, which we didn't hear about in a long time.
What do you mean?
You're saying it as a person that can freely use the N-word, so you're not taking it as severely as
because
he's a 50-year-old white man, which means his father was probably racist.
Yeah, but I have uncles.
Wow.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Wow.
His grandfather was probably prejudiced towards some things about African Americans.
That's not why I stopped saying it,
I won't say racist.
I'll tell you why I stopped saying it.
No,
and Brandon probably remembers, because my Uncle Bobby, who served 2 terms in Vietnam, didn't want us saying it. Because when they grew up in their era, they didn't play around like that because there was really racism back then. So you weren't using that word of a term of endearment.
No, I believe that. We shouldn't say that.
So when a guy's telling you guys, hey, stop saying that word, and he shouldn't have said the word.
No.
It's not fireable, though.
But no white man can tell me to stop saying that.
See, but I'm saying his intentions were pure.
I don't care.
He was trying to stop it. He should have said the word.
All right.
But there's people that ain't racist that I would bet my whole check on that get in that car and say Biggie and they say the N-word in the car.
I have to do that at my job once.
They all say it in the car.
I asked the white guy at my job once. I said, yo, be honest with me, though, for real. Like, if you're, cause I know you listen to rap music. Like, when it comes across, do you say?
I don't care. Listen.
He said, yes, in my car, I will say.
They do. All of them do it.
I don't care. Listen. If somebody says, first of all, you got to be a different type of white person to say that word in front of 85 N-words.
But no.
Like, you got to be a different type of dude, number one.
Because he wasn't saying it like that.
Because it's white privilege.
It was saying that, first of all, he was with his group, the receivers, or wherever he coached. He was with just them.
Yeah, we only got in front of 85 in the front of the team and apologized for saying it. Which means
because one player got mad.
No, it was more than one.
But
a lot of people.
I give him more credit for that because I always play.
I'm not giving you credit for apologizing for you being wrong.
No, I do because I believe in the one person rule. Because there's some Native Americans or indigenous people that don't mind redskin, but if one doesn't like it and they think it's racist, you can't say it. I do believe that.
Smart, he's 50.
I'm just saying.
He knew the word was
He
wrong.
went up there and apologized. He said, you know what? I apologize. Even though his intentions were pure, I shouldn't have said the word at all. He apologized for it.
You rape a little girl.
Whoa, don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Well,
come on, man.
You rape a little girl. Her dad comes over and kills you. His intentions were pure.
No, he wasn't.
He did the right thing. Everybody would agree with that.
Not in the eyes of the law.
Forget the law.
You saw a time to kill?
N-word's not the law. But he was right because he took you out for that. That guy is in the N-word. He's wrong. In every instance. He's never right.
That man should have lost his livelihood.
Yes.
Comment Shelly says, our aunt Shelly.
Go ahead. What you
know her? You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah.
She says the word shouldn't be said, period. Hey, nephews.
What's up?
Talking to us. Not you. You're not in there.
No, it shouldn't be. But I think...
It's Elijah's mom.
Awesome.
No,
appreciate you watching.
It's not a debate on if you should say it or not. I think we're all on this. We all agree. We need, as a people, we need to stop saying it. And
so these white teachers can walk around saying the N-word because their kids say it?
No, nobody should say it. I'm saying...
I think he used it as a teachable moment.
I'm not defending this guy like you think I'm defending him. I'm saying he should have been fired, and I think he made a mistake. He apologized for it, but it shouldn't be fired.
I don't know if he should be fired, but I think he used it as a teachable moment. And that's why... So, them kids feeling that hurt from him saying it is the same hurt that some people feel when we say it.
There's some older black people. There's older black people
that feel that same hurt. Don't like that. Doesn't matter who says it. They feel that same hurt. And I think it was a teachable moment for some of those kids, though he should have found another way to teach them.
I feel like ignorance and lack of education is major. It's huge.
As a teacher, if I teach my kids the wrong way, I get fired.
No,
if I say something offensive,
that's not true.
You let me get observed by a principal, and I'm black. And if I say the N-word, I'm probably going to get fired. You're going to tell me this white guy you say the word?
Put it in context, though.
Hey, don't be walking around saying the N-word all crazy. Like, no, you can't do that in a professional atmosphere.
And I'm not defending it. I'm saying, but
football feels different.
No, listen. To put this in more context, if I said it in Pet Manor, if I talked there, I would have really been fired. Really been fired. I might have a chance in York. But you're going to tell me this white man in South Carolina gets a chance to say that for no reason?
Yeah, but
because he's
of all the people we could be attacking on this platform, he's not one of the ones you should be attacking.
He got to go. What do you mean?
No, he doesn't. I disagree with you.
You're an idiot.
This guy was trying to tell people, hey, we don't use that here. We don't use that word here. And he shouldn't have said the word. I 100% agree with you. But to say this guy was in the wrong, he should be fired, no, I don't think so.
We all know the football field's different, though.
He apologized.
There's a lot of things that get said in the football field that aren't politically correct. I mean, I've been there. I can't say that. I've done things as a coach that are regrettable. And to say I should be fired for them, I don't agree with. Like, I've said things to kids, to students, that are regrettable. Like, I should have approached him differently.
But we're on the same page here, what you did. That's a fireable offense. Our coach got fired at Rutgers for doing that.
So chill. Why you? You dry snitching though. You dry snitching, yo. Like, why would you say that?
All right, look at that. I'll say this. I don't get one of you guys fired. But I feel like we're on this coach that said this. What was it? 4 or 5 years ago? 3 years ago? But I was more upset and hurt by the fact that the Clemson football team is playing on a plantation. And the name of the buildings is the old slave owner. We should be more upset about these things. The name of the building is the owner of the biggest slave plantation in South Carolina, and that's where their campus is located on.
You know what? Clemson's a different type place, yo.
No, that's not just Clemson. That's what our school is.
I'm just saying, Clemson's a different type place.
For the South in general, is
Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, they don't even use Clemson when they go Monday Night Football when they get announced. They get their high school. Because of the schools played on the plantation. Did you know that?
Yeah, I agree. Like, they're right.
I'm saying, but why is that a bigger issue that the name of the biggest slave owner in South Carolina, that's where they're playing the football field at?
That's just
why is he celebrated, though? Like, why are these guys celebrated?
That was his land, though.
I don't care.
That was a slave land.
Yeah,
those are cotton fields.
The guy that's celebrated for all the wrong reasons.
It's a different world in the South, man. A lot of people are celebrating. Rupp Arena. How's Rupp Arena named Rupp Arena? When Adolph Rupp was racist. And people might get confused with racist and might feel type of way. Anybody that is prejudiced against a race, to answer Oscar's questions, anybody that is prejudiced against a race for any judgment without knowing that person, off of just their race alone, I'm going to consider you a racist. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. So I don't know what the Webster definition of it is.
So you think that coach was racist at South Carolina or Clemson?
I think gotta go.
No, that's not what he is.
You call him a racist? Do you think he's racist based on your definition?
Yeah, I think him and Dabo both gotta go.
I don't think that. No.
I don't think we can just throw around
Dabo is
loosely. I think we need to educate people a little more.
So what do you think about the NCAA?
No.
Let me ask you a question.
No, I'm about to cuss in here.
Yeah, you did cuss. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but listen, because I'm not educating you no more. You have Google. You have a phone in your pocket. You have computers everywhere you go. You got everything. Now, I'm not educating you no more.
I know, but it's unfair, though.
No, if you're not educated by now, you don't want to be educated.
When's the last time you went and Google some white hood history?
I don't have to.
I said we can't put that on people.
It was force-fed to me for 12 years.
I know, but there's a lot of things about white culture you don't know, and I don't know.
It was force-fed to me. Everything they wanted me to know, I've took in history class. Anything they wanted us to know, and what did they ever have to learn about us?
And I don't want to get in that because we all agree we're all on the same page of this. But I just know.
Why should I have to? Why should they be forced? Like, why should I have to educate them now?
Because I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that is because I've been in environments most of my life with people that didn't know anything about black people, and they used to ask me questions because they didn't know. He's like, you know what? One guy asked me, I told him a story about the guy calling the colored girls up the street.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I didn't know what to call black people because I lived in Coreyville, he said. He's like, I don't know. Is African American okay? Can I say color? Can I say? He didn't know. So he called somebody color and he wasn't being racist. Definitely not racist.
Color's offensive.
And I was like, no. I said, right now, African American's fine. But color is not really an acceptable term no more.
Hell no.
But I feel like I educate him now. He'll never use that word. But he wasn't a racist. He just wasn't. It was ignorant. He didn't know.
Not your job.
It's not my job. But I'm not going to assume he's racist because he said colored one time.
If he didn't want to learn before he met you, that's on him. He's wrong for that. He's
never been around a black guy until he was an adult.
I can't help you with that.
You can.
No, I can't. You're wrong for that. I can't help there's
I gave a guy credit for wanting to learn and being comfortable enough for me over years to ask me those kind of questions. That they ain't comfortable enough to ask you that they don't know you.
I don't care. Like, there's Google.
You on Google, hey, what do I call black people?
Yes, because you know
why?
Get flagged. You know what? What did you do when there was a history question in history class that you didn't know the answer of?
We went to school before the smartphone.
What did you do? Exactly. I was going there. We opened a dictionary or something and we looked it up. That's what we did. You know why? Because they could find it, because it's in the dictionary. Our history's not in the dictionary. Our history can't be found. So you know what they do? They asked you when they turned 30.
We're not getting mad about history though. We're getting mad about words.
We're
getting mad about words though. You get mad about color. We get mad about the N-word. We get mad about this. These are things you can teach. You can't Google.
I've been mad about a lot.
We're all angry. We all been mistreated in different ways. But I feel like we need to direct our anger to the people it needs to be directed at. We can't put them all in the same category.
So the NCAA having no championships in Alabama.
Mississippi,
I'm sorry.
I like it. The NCAA announced that Mississippi will not have any
championships
in any sport. Collegiately.
As long as they
have Confederate stuff in their state
flags, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah. But that's stuff that should have been done a long time ago. And that's the frustrating part. Like, America, it's a joke. Like, it is laughable that now you want to be right. Now you want to do things the right way. Oh, Cap is right now.
No, we're talking about something we all agree on now, because we know these issues.
But like, Confederate flag, like, that should have been down. It should have been down when my man walked in the church,
South Carolina,
and shot 9 folks. Like, it's laughable. And
I don't understand.
That makes me mad.
If you take race 100% out of it, I still don't know why we have to do the Confederate flag. You have half of the country that tried to leave this country because they didn't want to be part of the country because you're going to free the slaves.
Yes.
And you say, you lost that war. You lost that war.
You're still waving that flag.
And you're still part of this country. And you're like, I want to wave this loser flag around. Where do you ever wave the loser flag around and be proud of it?
It's not
So,
even.
I don't understand that way. People say about if you don't stand up with your hand on your heart and respect the flag, you're disrespectful to the country. And those same people that made that statement are down there in the South waving the Confederate flag on the back of their truck.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic in that. No race involved.
Or when you put the American flag on a beer. Like, is that respectful? Like,
that don't bother me. I'm saying you can't be like, don't disrespect the flag at all, and you're trying to wave the flag of the part of the country that tried to leave this country, and they lost the war.
I'm not saying bothering. You know what I'm saying? Is that respectful? Like, is it like the stuff they do is like what's disrespectful to the flag?
According to the flag laws and the Constitution, a lot of stuff we do in this country is disrespectful to the flag.
But we're talking about kneeling is the biggest issue.
Kneeling is a sign of respect, though, that the military showed.
Yeah, but
so it's not even disrespectful to the flag.
No, I think
people misinterpret it.
We're gonna get a lot of
like Cap used to sit down on the bench.
A Green Beret told him.
And then when he talked to his friend that was in the service, he said, "When you take a knee, it's a sign of respect." So that's why he took a knee as a sign of respect to the military.
He said, "Be more respectful and take a knee. Don't sit down."
And that was what they did.
But the thing was, you go. Our country is number one country in the world because we can do those kind of things. You go to war to fight for the freedom, so I had the right to kneel, regardless of what comes with. That's what I fought for. So I don't really understand. And plus, it never was about. Let's not make it about the flag, even on this podcast, because it was never about the flag. It was about police brutality.
Well, it was about injustices.
But he said he went with police brutality.
One of them.
The first quote he gave was like,
"Police brutality. For one, I'll give you police brutality." Anyway, comments. William Way. I'm not giving race lessons at 40. We all have the internet. For every action, there's a reaction. He'll learn on his own. Liza says, I agree. You should take advantage of an opportunity to teach someone who's asking and wants to learn, with what you said.
It's like Mark. You wanted to be a better referee. What did you do?
Talk to CJ.
You researched.
You work at your craft, but I ain't comparing my job to
anything you wanted to learn in life. What did you do? Did you go ask somebody who did it? Or like, what do you do? You research on your own?
You work at your craft.
At work, I always followed the guy. I felt like he was the best at what I did. This guy's the best. I'm with him every day. I'm talking.
Yeah, but you can't do that with race issues. Like where do you look up what's acceptable? I mean, you want to be honest amongst our own people. We have changed what's acceptable to call us for. Like every decade, we change the word.
I don't care what you call me, as long as you don't call me.
You do care, because somebody says it was a color boy over there. You're gonna be pissed off about it.
As long as you don't call me the N-word, like we can make that. Like I've been called that by a parent, like at a school. Like that didn't make me mad. But if she would have said that N-word over there, I would have felt anger. Like I was bothered by it. Like it wasn't. But the anger wasn't what I felt. It was like disappointment. Like,
No, I've been there. Well, not for that word, but people that I thought I was close to said things that I was like, man. Like even with some of the stuff going on now, you're just like, man.
But if it's the N word, I'm like, yo, nah. Like it's
but remember when
fight me?
I keep telling these stories to my sport. Remember when me and you were out and we had I think it was one of the kids you used to coach in track. And we're sitting down there talking, and she's white, but she went to McCaskey, graduated McCaskey, said all her friends are black, and she keeps saying the N-word to us. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable with it. And she's like, well, my friends let me say it. All my friends are black. Remember that?
I was like, not your friend.
I wasn't around for that, but you told me the story.
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. I was like, I understand. I'm not your friend. I'm just not comfortable with you continually say it over. I don't even say it.
Yeah, that's like a 2000 and.
But the new era is saying, like, yeah, I can say it. I'm allowed to say it. They said, like, my friend said I can say it. Like, your friend that's 19-year-old speaks for the whole black community now. And you can just say whatever you want.
That's a different era. Yeah, that's not okay. But, I mean, I guess to get back to our original statement, like, I thought the Clemson guy should have been fired because he's old enough to know what he's doing is wrong. Dabo should have handled it better. And yes, I'm holding you responsible for that because you swept it under the rug and not address it publicly, and you need to go too. Because I don't care how many games you win. Like,
I'm mixed on that too, because you're from the same culture I'm from where you keep some things in the house.
There's no worse thing you can say to a black person. And he knows that. That's what I'm saying. If you're 50 and don't know
he
that,
wasn't saying it to them. He repeated exactly what he said.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't
saying it to him like,
it's a no-brainer, B. If he says to that guy, I don't care what kind he says it. If he calls somebody directly the N-word, but he was not doing that.
Fellas.
He was not doing that.
By doing that, he was doing that.
I don't know.
Why are you thinking that this guy didn't know? You're giving him like the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not. I know that the players said how. There's other players came out and said how he said it. The other players came out and said the
I know how he said it, but also he knows how he said it.
But I'm not taking his word for it. I'm going by the players that said no. This guy was correcting it, even though I don't think he should have said it. He was like, "Yo, guys, we don't say that here. Like, don't say the N-word in this drill."
No, but he mocked him first. And said it, and then said, "We don't say that here." Like after he mocked him.
Yeah, and I think he was wrong, grossly wrong. But I feel like his intentions he was in the right place. He just handled it wrong.
Some things you can't be wrong at. Like if you're a cop, you can't be wrong at shooting at somebody that's unarmed.
You can't, but he didn't kill nobody.
If you're a pilot, you can't be wrong at making that right read or something, or you're going to die.
I'm in a profession where mistakes can cost somebody their life. I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't feel like that applies to that situation.
Yeah, but that's grossly wrong. I don't know what more you can do as a football coach. What words could he said?
You could have called him N-word. It would have been worse. Would have been worse.
If he called him N-word,
he's fired.
10 times. And he's fired, and we're not having this conversation.
No, he's fired, never coaching again. If he calls me N-word.
Yeah, you said what could he do worse? You said what could he do worse?
He gets another job.
All right.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he gets another job.
Not for a while.
What do you mean? What he said? What did he say?
So
the kid said in the drill.
Well, two kids got in a fight in the drill. They're doing what were they doing? Right. Oklahoma drill or something?
They're doing
so they start going at each other, calling each other N-word.
Blocking drill.
Blocking drill. Yeah, they're calling each other the N-word back and forth. These two players are, I don't know if they're going to fight, but they look like they're about to fight.
But the player that missed the block, he missed the block. And he said, "Damn, that's the N-word I'm supposed to block."
Yeah, that was one he said.
That's the N-word I'm supposed to block.
And the coach
said, "That's the N-word you're supposed to block."
Yeah.
He said, "We don't say that.
We don't say that in here. We don't say
at the school.
That's the N-word you're supposed to block." And that was it.
But he said the word. He didn't say N-word. He said the real word.
Twice.
Yeah, but he's trying to tell these guys we don't do that here. He shouldn't have said the word. I'm not defending him.
I agree. He shouldn't have said, and I don't agree with this guy or anything. But he shouldn't have said the word. I agree with that. But it was like I said, it was a teachable moment, but I think he mishandled it.
So what's your proper?
But should you be fired for mishandling a teachable moment?
It's not fireable.
Yes.
I commend him for stepping up and saying, "Look, guys, we don't say that here, man."
I commend him for shit.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I use it all the time. I don't want to hear it from my players, so I say to them, "Yo, watch the N-word." Then they may say something. I'm like, "Yo, watch the N-word." They're like, "Coach, man, I hear that shit." No, I'm not trying to hear that. I know I'm black. I'm still not trying to hear it.
Frustrated me that you guys are giving this guy a pass.
We're not giving him a pass. Anyway, there is millions of people in this country that are racist, that need to be attacked. And I just don't think, why are we wasting our time attacking this guy when he wasn't trying to do it?
Will Wade says he wanted to get that N-word off one time for the culture.
He's been trying to do it. He's been trying to do it for 25 years and finally found the right opportunity.
I don't agree with that.
You got white friends be there saying N-word in their car, the Biggie songs.
That's okay. Say it whatever you want in the car. I don't care what
do
you
want to not be friends with? You want them gone?
I don't care what you do in the confines of your own home.
You should.
I don't.
I'm more concerned what people do behind closed doors. Because that's where they make decisions about your life.
I got my own home to worry about. Whatever you do at your home, do at your home. But if you bring it around me, I'm smacking you in the face. That coach should have got smacked in the face.
No, the racism I've always been worried about is the guy that smiles in your face but then won't give you a job. That's the racism that hurts us.
That's a fact.
That's different.
That's not different. That's the guy that smiles in your face and he ain't racist, but behind closed doors, he's like, I ain't giving this guy a job.
No, but that's behind closed doors. Like, you asked me what I would do with somebody who... You ain't asking me what I'm doing with a closed
You said, I don't care what nobody does in the privacy of their own home or in their car.
But, all racists need to go. So that's number one. So if you think that somebody is... If you think that somebody is a closet racist, then hey, it is what it is. But we're not going to know that. We're not going to know that he's not giving you the job because of the color of your skin. That happened for years, and it's probably going to happen until we die. That's just the way of life.
I think we're beating a dead horse now.
But if we're talking about a coach saying the N-word, he gotta go. If I curse out a kid, I'm probably getting fired.
I know for a fact you cursed out kids.
Who?
I think you deserve crime of passion. Football is a heated environment a lot of times, and passion. And this guy still, I didn't think he did it in a context that deserved to be fired. But we know sometimes keeping it real goes wrong.
Nah, man, I ain't keeping it real with no 50-something-year-old man. Like, you keep it real, he needs to get smacked. One of them 18-year-olds should smack. I bet if that 18-year-old would smack them, then I bet
if
he would have got thrown out of school.
You coach right now call you N-word and you smack him, you're still getting fired. You're going to throw it all away.
Yeah. But now, he would be justified.
No, I'm saying you're going to get fired.
If you
smack a kid tomorrow while you're coaching him, he called you the N-word and you smack him, you're getting fired.
No, but if I called a kid the N-word...
No, I'm saying the kid called you.
No, but I'm saying if I called the kid the N-word, I would deserve to get smacked. I'm not saying that. I'm not, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, hey, he would deserve...
All right, I think we killed it, though.
All right. Well, no, I'm
going to give you credit right now because you've been saying, and even though we disagree on this, I don't think everybody should go to it, but one of the top basketball players in the country said that he's highly considering going to the HBCU, historical black college.
Mikey Williams?
Yeah. Number one recruit in the country?
Yeah, he's a freshman, but he's good.
You've been saying this for a while, off camera.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Do you think all these top black athletes should go to HBCUs?
Go ahead.
To prove a point? Yeah, I guess they
all
should.
Of them?
But I don't think they should just go just because it's a HBCU.
I agree.
I think they should make the decision that they feel most comfortable at. So if that's North Carolina or that's Clemson or that's Oregon, I think they should make the decision of where they feel the most comfortable. Like when we interviewed Jared and he said they made him feel like it was a family thing. He felt comfortable. It wasn't about it being the HBCU where everybody looks like you. It was about where he felt comfortable at. It didn't matter if there was 2 white players or 10 white players. That coach came to your house and he made you feel. Chris said the same thing. How he came to his mom's house. Pitt came to his mom's house and they talked to him and everything. They made him feel comfortable. And his agent didn't downplay anybody. They just made him feel like, they were really looking out for him. And HBCUs, you may not, not all of them you're going to feel that way just because they all look like you. Nah, I think you make the decision that's best for you. So if it's an HBCU and you feel comfortable there and you feel the most comfortable there because you're around people that look like you, then great, go and be there and take them to the tournament or whatever the case is. But don't go because you feel obligated because it's an HBCU now. Nah.
You want to speak on it? And it's been your thing.
Yeah, and I'll say this first. That the way I sound, like, it makes me sound like I'm a racist.
When you preface something like that, you're about to make some racist comments, usually.
It's like, with all due respect.
No, but what never really stood out to me was how we can go support these places with
Clemson on the plantation.
Yeah, like Clemson or like Ole Miss or like places that have like Confederate flags hanging up or like histories of racism being done and never had to answer for the racism. And we're going to take our top recruits there and things like that when we have historically black colleges here who are struggling and didn't have to be if our best players went there. And I get it, but like Mikey Williams said, if you're a pro, you're a pro.
That's true, though.
And in that regards of where you go. And
but I don't want to interrupt you, but like you said, there's a difference between Penn State and Townsend.
There is. But there's not between 6'8", 260 and...
I'm saying with the life. When you're 19, 18, 20, you're trying to live a certain life.
Basketball's different because you don't got to be there 3 years. You're going to be there 9 months, if that.
Yeah, but you're talking about the top 10 players in the country leaving in 1 year. You're talking about, what about if you're number 20 in the country? You're still one of the best players in the country, but you're not going after 1 year.
Yeah, you still need to go. I mean, I would still stand by you still going to support because you're bringing more money into a university that's going to give back to people that look like you, and not saying that as in like a racist way, like we need to look out for each other. But I'm saying it's been done so long in the past that it put black people at a disadvantage. So now, being at the disadvantage that we're at, yeah, like we need some advantages. So yes, going to HBCUs, now that we don't have to spend millions of dollars, like them millions of dollars of TV contracts will be at HBCU events instead of being at SEC events. Like, we need that type of revenue to help our students become better people. Not our student athletes, our students in general to become lawyers, doctors, judges, like stuff like that, where we need to, give back to our community.
We had this talk for years. I felt like you're going to hear a lot of what I already said, so I'm going to keep it. I'd be thinking it was great. When I saw the article, I was like, I hope he does go to HBCU. For him, and during this time, in this climate. But overall, I don't think it's beneficial for all of our best athletes to go to HBCUs because I don't think that's the world we live in. I'm more for inclusion, not seclusion. I don't think all the best black people should all go be with all black people because that ain't the world. If you're going to be successful in America, you're going to have to be comfortable being around people of different races, majority white. You need to be comfortable in those environments.
Why do we feel that way?
Because you have to.
But listen.
The higher you go up the chain, that's what else you see.
Well, why do we feel that way and white people don't?
Because that's the privilege they were born with.
Yeah, we're done with that privilege.
But the fact is, unless you're going to move, you're going to be in this country and be successful, it's more than likely you're going to have to be around white people. So you need to be in an environment. I was thinking about this the other day. This is funny. I don't know how you feel and you felt. But I never even really thought about race until I was an adult. It never came up in Fulton, Reynolds, or McCaskey. Because I had friends literally of every race. We had Bart, my neighbor was white. Marcus, black and white. With Spanish friends. Everybody, we had every race. Asian. I was in class with Asians and white people. It was never an issue. I never thought about race. It was just everybody was people. And then when I became an adult and went to work at Donnelly or Media Heights, probably Media Heights first, we worked at a private golf club, and you start seeing race dynamics.
Media Heights was the first time I discovered that
race matter.
I'm a black kid.
Yeah.
Well, you, like me, probably were around we were around white people who wanted to be around minorities or like knew that they were going to be around minorities.
I don't think that's it. I think they just, you're a kid. You don't know. You're ignorant.
Because when you enter their world, that's when it's different. Like when you worked at the Media Heights, you entered their world. When I worked at Penn Manor, I entered their world. Like it's different then. But like when they're in like they knew what they were getting into being at McCaskey, teaching at McCaskey, their kids going to McCaskey, whatever. But when you enter their world, are you supposed to be here? That's how it's just pointed out at you.
No, I just think, but as kids, I don't even know about their parents. I'm talking about the people that I grew up with in these schools. That you're just like race. You never thought about race. It's like, hey, you're white, you're black, you're Asian, you're Spanish. We're all just going together. We're friends. Yeah. It was never like you're not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be there. But I think being those type of environments, like
you would never know where you weren't supposed to be.
Because everybody from the city was just from the city. It wasn't a black or white thing. It was an urban thing.
But then you went to that golf course. It was like what?
I knew that race was different.
That's like the first place you went where you weren't supposed to be.
Yeah, I want to say I wasn't supposed to be there, but you notice there's nobody here.
No, because it's funny because the person that got us the job was
the white guy.
Yeah. Our neighbor. He was our neighbor. He lived across the street from us, and he's like, you guys want a job?
But it was funny working at the place where you're the only black person in the building.
Yeah,
it's different.
But there was another black person there, but she treated us as if she was there so long.
Well, she was working too, though.
Yeah, but she was there so long that she treated us like we were black kids.
No, I'm not even going to attack her like that.
I ain't attacking her. That's
the only people that were of color most of the time were the people that were working.
Well, there was only one other black person there.
No, because Kent was black. The cook.
Yeah, hell name.
Yeah, I guess.
No, this is looking terrible. We can't do that no more either. We gotta stop separating our races.
I didn't separate them. I'm saying I felt like Kent was my point with Kent.
Don't stop saying this.
My point with the guy that he's speaking of was he wasn't seen because he was a cook, so he was in the kitchen. We were out on the front lines of it. We were out with
all right, he's right.
We served
besides us, there was one other person that was black that worked there.
We served these people. We cleaned up after these people, and the only other person that was there that did the same thing as us was a black lady. But she was there for so long that she even treated us a certain way where it was like they're just black kids. And I hate to say that about her because she did some things for us. Like at the time she gave us rides home and everything.
She did do that.
The fact is, I'm not going to sit here and because she gave me a ride home, I'm not going to candy coat it. She definitely treated us different at times to the point where my other brother let her have it.
I never got that impression from her. If we're gonna talk about this story, I never got that from her. I don't feel like
I got it from her. I got it from her several times. She was married to a white dude, which whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just saying, doesn't matter. She's married to a white dude.
Yeah, she was black.
Yeah. She was a black lady.
I thought she was white.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
So the only other minority that worked there, that was in the building with us, was a worker.
And it also served those people where she was a black lady. But I said she also made me feel like, oh, he's a black kid. Like I already felt that way being around these people.
The point I was trying to make,
she made it certain, like, yeah, you guys are, as if she was any different.
I think it was beneficial for me in my life because the environments I have to work in, or not just anywhere in life, that I was not.
We're way off topic here.
We're saying we are. We're talking about HBCUs. I think it's beneficial for you to be around other races. You shouldn't seclude yourself to only being around your own people because that's not the world we live in.
All right, I got your answer.
Go ahead.
White people start going to HBCUs.
Some do.
No, not many. Some
not
do.
many people.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with you going there. I think you should go there. I don't think all of us should go there.
But that's where we started off with this whole thing, which was wrong before. And we'll get to the comment in a second. But that's how we started off this thing wrong. Integration. When we integrated schools.
No, we're not going to do this whole thing.
Listen, here we are. You want there.
You want to be secluded. You want to be segregated. I don't want to be segregated.
I don't want to be segregated. Listen, when they integrated schools, and we talked about this, I think, before
on Millie.
On Millie. We didn't go to them. They can't. They put us in their schools, taught us their stuff, and tried to program us to think how they think.
You're right.
Like that's what integration was. So like now we are still programmed by like let's go to Harvard, let's go to Princeton. That was a great school. I'm not. That's
no, I was just going to say that we need to be getting in the Harvards. We need to be getting in there.
But yes. But that,
our president came from one of those schools.
I'm saying almost every president came from an Ivy League school.
Not our president.
Almost every president.
The president in the past did.
Barack Obama?
Yeah.
That's what I'm speaking of.
Well, president now.
No, but almost.
No, I'm not talking about that. Not talking about 45.
A great majority of the presidents of the history of the United States went to Ivy League schools.
They also have all been white. So that's
except for one.
So that's
I'm saying, but we need to be in these buildings. We got to be in these rooms.
No, we don't. Like, why can't a black person
hold on.
From Howard
at some point, this thing has to end. We can continue next week, but y'all, we can't go all night.
I'm just saying, look, if I go to any place in America, I got a Harvard degree, I'm going to get that job. If I go with the degree from Howard, I might not get that. Certain degrees just get you certain jobs.
But that's the thing.
And that's where,
because people are placed in that mindset.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why we gotta be there too.
I don't agree with that. I hear what you're saying.
We gotta be there.
Well, if it says Harvard, it says Howard. That Harvard guy's gonna get it. But why not that person from Howard?
I agree with you 100%, but we still gotta be at Harvard.
I'm saying we can't. We are. There's a lot
I know we are, but I'm saying we need more of us.
What I'm saying is that Harvard don't have to be Harvard. Like if they didn't look down at HBCUs or like. In general of African Americans, like as a second class citizen, our HBCUs can be top schools, and we might have, if we would have had more black presidents before 43 of them, then maybe one of them would have came from an HBCU.
You're right, but then even Barack Obama went to Harvard and Columbia.
You're not going to find a more perfect black person than Barack. The only thing white people wanted that Barack didn't have was him being married to a white woman.
I'm not giving you a second.
That's the only thing. Like,
hey, we gotta go.
I'm just saying, you cheer every Saturday.
Now they scared, people.
Every Saturday in the winter.
Now they scared.
Every Saturday in the winter, he's going, let's go Duke. I don't see you going, let's go Howard.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I never seen you wear a Howard shirt, a Howard hat. You wearing Duke.
He wearing Townsend a lot, though.
He went to graduate from there. He's representing Duke.
But you know what?
One of the most inclusive schools in the country.
You know why?
Why?
What did I see on ESPN growing up from my?
But you're talking about making the change. You gotta be the change.
Yes, you're right.
So go buy some Howard apparel.
But if I wasn't programmed for 30-something years to have Duke on TV since I was 2 years old, maybe if Howard was on TV or
Howard fan. That's a good argument, though. But he has a good argument there. Had he been seeing Howard since he's been 2 to the time now, he may be a Howard fan and not a Duke fan.
But he's not 2 no. He's not 15 no more. He's 35.
But I met Howard.
But you still don't see Duke. Look, you still don't see Howard on TV.
Be the change you want to be. If I'm saying Howard this, HBCU that, then you got to be that.
I am. Go talk to my son right now. Where do I want him to go? An HBCU.
If your son ends up being a top recruit in the country in football, and you got Penn State, Syracuse, Florida State, and Howard giving him offers, where do you want him to go?
I don't care about my son being
Grambling. You want to go to Grambling?
I don't care about my son being any top.
I'm saying, what school do you want him to go to?
I want him to be educated and be able to help.
If Grambling and Florida State and Penn State offered him, where do you want him to go?
Where he feels comfortable.
But
where would I want him to go?
Where would you go?
If it wasn't Towson?
Where would you go?
What do you mean? Now?
Right.
Or 18-year-old me?
You're going to be 18.
18-year-old you. Where would you go?
I'll be the one that I was programmed to see for the last 17 years.
And your son's seeing the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So you got to be the change.
And I'm trying.
So would you tell him to go to Howard?
Yes.
Over Penn State and then Clemson or whatever?
Yes.
I don't think you would.
I don't care about the football matters. That don't really matter to me. That's not. Football is a small time of your life, or basketball, sports in general is a small time of your life. And I train my son every day to play a sport, but it's mainly just to keep him out of trouble.
I know, but you
can
choose where you put your son in school now. You want him to put him where you think he's going to get the best education. But right now, unfortunately, he's going to be with a school that he's going to be the only black kid.
Yeah.
You could have put him somewhere else.
I could have. If they had better, I would love to.
I'm just saying. So you put him at the Harvard.
No. I'll put him at the best school available.
Harvard is the best school on paper in this country.
If my son was to get into Harvard, Harvard wasn't one of the options.
So it's Harvard or Howard. Where are you putting him? You said we shouldn't be going to Harvard. We need to be going to Howard.
No, I'm not saying we shouldn't be going to Harvard. I didn't say that.
Which one would your son go to?
But what I'm saying is Howard could have been a Harvard if we would have been programmed that way.
That's going to be the last topic.
What do you mean? It is. We're done.
Howard and Harvard offer your son. Where do you want him to go?
But listen.
Where do you want him to go?
Listen, you're not listening to the point I was making. I want Howard to be the Harvard.
I know what you want.
That's what.
And I want this brown to be light, but it's brown. I want the light, but you ain't got none.
That's dumb. We're talking about how systematic racism
been
going on from day one.
You just told every top recruit in the country to go to an HBCU. Your son has Harvard or Howard. Where do you want him to go today?
But listen.
Where do you want him to go?
You're not listening to the point.
I want you to answer a simple question.
To answer your question, Harvard is the better school.
Okay. You want him to go to Harvard.
Harvard is the better school.
But you just told all the top recruits to go to Howard.
You didn't say nothing about Harvard. You were talking about...
I just said Harvard. I said we need to be in the Harvards. I said that, right?
But not about the recruits. You're talking about black people in general, and I agree with you. But I said we are in Harvard.
I'm saying you just told all the top people in the country need to go HBCU, but you're like, my son needs to go to the better school for education.
Harvard is not the top schools. What are you talking about with sports? You weren't talking about... Harvard wasn't in one of your discussions. We're talking about sports and top schools. What I'm saying is HBCU's been frowned upon since they've been existing because they're historical black colleges. They've been low funded and everything else. Donald Trump said it today, I'm giving more money back to the HBCUs. We should have been got that money.
Don't be saying that, man. We just talked about that for half an hour.
We should have been got that money, though. That's what frustrates you the most. We should have been had that money already.
Donald Trump just saying whatever he feels like going to get a black person or two.
You're talking about things that we're not disagreeing on. I'm saying that it's easy to tell every kid in the country you need to go to HBCU. But I want my kid at the best schools. But
like I said before that, if you're a pro, you're going to be pro. You're going to be a pro. But what I'm saying, besides that, is everybody's not a pro. Some kids are going to go to school 4 years and graduate.
No, high majority.
Yeah, that's the majority too. I would rather you go, because if them top recruits are going, that means them dollars are coming from CBS, ABC, like Disney. Like those are, and that's going to fund that school and help them have a better education. And that's all I'm saying with that. And that historically, if they would have got funded like that for the last 100 years, then maybe they would be respected.
Nobody's debating that with you. I'm saying if my son has a chance to go to five schools, I want my son to go to the best school. I'm not going to send him to Howard. We can go to Harvard.
Now, because Howard, because Harvard's been that way
but that's forever. But you made this comments over the years that you think all the top athletes should start going to HBCUs.
They should.
Because it's not your kid. I want my kid to get the best place to go to get an education and play sports.
If my son was Zion Williamson, go to Harvard for 6 months. Yes, get that money.
I'm talking about take sports out of it, like you just said. Education alone, you're still going to pick Harvard.
Yes. School. Sports, it's different.
I don't think so.
Same thing we're doing with high school here.
All right, we're going to wrap up. So we're going to wrap up. Man, we've been going for a while. Got to count these two down.
We said Alyssa Herbert said Happy Father's Day, guys. Thank you, appreciate it.
Miss Lisa, yes, thank you.
She showed me a good time down there last year.
Yes.
Classic time.
William Way said we shouldn't look at their schools like they're better than our schools. I don't think they are, Billy.
Yeah, you do.
I do not think they're better.
We just reading the comments and we're going.
He said, why aren't there black Ivy League schools? There should be.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
We're all yeah. Forget it. We know
really, we're on the same page, Billy. I agree with you 100%. But society,
no, the argument's over.
No, I think when society agrees, it's different.
Yo, read the rest. We're out of here.
If they were funded correctly before, they would be.
They would, but they're not.
All right, shout outs. Yeah, we're good. Shout outs.
Joe Holla family's on.
Shout outs.
What's up, Joe?
Shout outs.
God, I'll never go first. Do I?
I don't know.
Red always goes first, man. Shout outs.
Oh, I asked y'all though. But shout out Father's Day. Shout out to all the great fathers out there. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to my children for allowing me to be their father. And they
ain't allow you. It was no choice.
They gave me the greatest gift, man. The greatest gift I ever got was being able to wake up to them. So shout out to them. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to the rest of the dads. Shout out to you two guys for being dads. Guys, hope I see you on the golf course tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow.
Actually, like 7 hours from now.
Yes.
And that's all I got, man.
I usually don't do shout outs, but shout out to the good fellas of the Lancaster City Fire Department, mainly C Shift, who got a pretty bad fire down at the Old Boys Club. On Tuesday this week, 3 people were trapped. It put their training to the max. Those guys did a hell of a job getting those people out. Hopefully the people that were in that fire, I think 2 of them at Chester Crozier right now. Hopefully they recover. But I want to shout out some of my co-workers who I think did a hell of a job this week at a pretty bad fire.
You done?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to everybody that tuned in, because it's, these guys talked me into going live at 1 in the morning. So shout out to that.
We started at 12:05.
Yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock. So we gave y'all the whole club hours. So I hope you guys, I hope we gave you a lot of entertainment that you would find normally, what you would normally do from 12 to 2. But outside about to open back up. So you guys are about to be able to go to them clubs and bars and stuff again.
Bars and clubs ain't going to be open.
Oh, never mind.
You going to do like 50% capacity?
No, we definitely appreciate you tuning in to Opinionated Facts on our special Father's Day edition. We didn't want to go 2 weeks off, but we're doing Father's Day things tomorrow during the day, so we didn't want to go live then. Shout out to the 7-letter family as always. Make sure you like, follow, share all the Opinionated Facts on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, all that good stuff. That's it. We're good?
Yeah, man.
Man, thanks for all the people that tuned in doing the night shift.
Yeah, this is late, man. This is late. Happy Father's Day, fellas. You know, we got through it. Like, this is like 2 hours we gave y'all tonight, man. Brett tired. Look at him.
Yeah, somebody said Brett needs some energy.
Who?
Somebody said that earlier. Tell Brett to wake up.
Oscar Rowan said that. I was up, man.
Well, I just said Happy Father's Day. Appreciate it.
Letting y'all go through it.
My sister, Lachey Rudolph. Okay, good show, boys.
Hey, thank you. Opinionated Facts will be back next week. Make sure you guys tune in.
Scheduled.
Hey, TCP lineup. Make sure you guys tune in to Say Less tomorrow. Sit down with the Johnsons and all that good stuff. Make sure you tune us in again and, you know, like us again and watch it again at 12. Yeah, share us again. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys next week. Stay laid up, stay prayed up, stay out the way, and listen to what some old folks have to say. See you guys next week. Peace.